Hey, and welcome to our second lecture in our uh, American cinema class. I'm Tim Allen. You saw Grant last week. I have the great pleasure to talk about 1942's Casablanca. Um, and the Casablanca really represents the studio system of this class. Now, the studio system is a part which uh, you know it represents how movies were made back early on, even starting with the 1914s, where big studios, or you've probably heard of studio, or you think of like Seth Green's, oh, you know what, sorry, not Seth Green, Seth Rogen's show The Studio, and we think of Paramount, Warner Brothers, United Artists, all of these different studios that produce movies. Fox, Disney, MGM, they're all how movies were made. And they used to hire an actor, and you would be contracted, and you can only make MGM movies. And that was good for the actors because um, they were able to have jobs, but then they could loan you out to a different studio. They would produce movies during the 1930s and 40s. They're producing like a studio was producing like 50 movies a year, so that's one per week. Pretty exciting stuff. So definitely check out this week's lecture. But I want to talk to you about why you should watch, because it's required in this class, but why you should like Casablanca. Grant and I show all of these movies in class, and we do like them on different levels, but these are all kind of stone cold classics. Now, Casablanca, you may have heard of before. In fact, you know what? Let's get in the mood for Casablanca. How about this? All right, I know what some of you are watching is like, oh no, another black and white movie. But yes, black and white film. This is the era of black and white film, 1942, Casablanca. Uh, Also, I would love to point out that with Casablanca, like all of the other movies that we have made, where are we going to stream Casablanca for free? Okay, so Casablanca is available if you have streaming subs to HBO Max right now. It's on HBO Max, YouTube TV. You'll be able to find Casablanca, Disney, Hulu. Well, it's Hulu with Max or Disney with Max or Stars. That's how you're going to get it for free if you already paid for it, right? Otherwise, you can rent it. Or of course go to the library. Casablanca is going to be available at Gablin Library and or your local library. And of course, it's a great one to check out. Now, I will tell you, for those of you who are scared of this tonal pigment that's going on right now, or black and white, you don't appreciate black and white movies because they feel old. I'm going to tell you right now, black and white films can be cool, if sometimes cooler than actually color films. It's about toning and lighting, and you'll really see how stylized and smoky it feels in Casablanca, where Rick's place is. And we'll learn all about Rick and his adventures in the era of World War II, and running into a old love of his life. Casablanca, if you remember, you can also pay to rent Casablanca pretty much on everything. This is considered it's a great thing to take, because now you can always say I've seen Casablanca, because Casablanca is one of those films where it'll come up in discussion. Everybody who has studied film at some point have seen Casablanca, and it's a great film. So I hope that my point for all of you is to sell you on watching the film, some things that I want you to know about it, and then where you can watch it. And then of course you're going to watch this, which is the video lecture, and then you can read our notes, and that's going to give you all the information that you need for your responses, and also for you know, questions that are going to be on the final. So good thing to check out. Okay, so you know what? I know for those of you that are pigmentally challenged, how about this? Boom, I'm back in color. All right. Now I will tell you right now what's fun about the color of black and white. On Amazon Prime, Who here, I'm going to raise my hand, has watched Spider Noir? You know, it's a modern TV show starring Nick Cage as Spider-Man in the 1940s, about the time this is going to be taking place. And you have the option of watching it in color or black and white. And I will tell you, I watched both, and it's so much cooler in black and white. It gives that film noir vibes, and film noir is a style, kind of a detective area. We're not talking about film noir today because it's not specifically a film noir, but the black and white vibes just give so much gravitas and feeling. And the final scene that you watch in the film at the airport, imagine in color, and it just doesn't feel like something in here. Now, Casablanca, of course, stars Humphrey Bogart. Here's and you may know about Casablanca already just from pop culture. Famous lines from Casablanca, of course, include "Here's looking at you, kid," or "Play it again, Sam," or "In all the gin joints in all the world, you had to walk into mine." Famous, iconic lines. You must remember this: a kiss is just a kiss. A smile is something you will only miss. Ingrid Bergman plays Ilsa, who is connected to Humphrey Bogart's Rick. Um, uh, there's Sam. Dooley Wilson plays Sam, who's the piano player. Uh, um, and Peter Lorre as Guillermo. He's going to be the guy with the big eyes who's like, "Yes, Rick." This is directed by Michael Curtis. And this is the AFI, the American Film Institute, is considered the second best film of all time. And it really focuses on it's a play. Originally was a play that was purchased and then turned into a screenplay. Um, uh, you know, as time goes by, is really a song uh, that really is important to this. The last scene is iconic, and they make a big choice. I'm not going to spoil it here. I want you to watch and then write in the comments, do you think the ending worked for Casablanca? Is it something that you liked or didn't like? It's diversive. I think they ultimately make the best choice, because I think the theme of Casablanca's sacrifice, and even though Rick is this guy who, you know, good or bad, ultimately, does he make the right choice for you? Sound off in the comments. That's something great that you could do. It's considered one of the greatest American films. I want to know why you liked it or didn't like it. And remember, if you hated the black and white, like a lot of students, I can't get into it because it's black and white. Why? Why? Tell me why specifically, just because there's absence of color. I know there are things in media that are in color, or even not in color. We watch some things that have very faded color, or different color tones. And if it was in blue, if it had a blue hue over it, would you have liked it better? Tell me why. Do you think it's dated? I'm always interested in knowing well, why it was dated. Of course, what's important too to think about, is this film deals a lot with World War II. We have enemies in this movie who are associated with Nazis. We have Rick helping to get people away from these Nazis. Um, we're gonna In the future we'll deal more with Nazis, with of course Raiders of the Lost Ark, aka Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, coming up for our adventure film. Um, does how 1940s? That's almost 90 years ago, right? So does this film that's almost 90 years old relate to you? Do you feel like ultimately it's a story about love and a story about sacrifice? Do you think that this is an effective story tool? Is this an effective way that the filmmakers told this story. Did you like the song? Did you like Rick's? Would you like to hang out at Rick's place, Rick's bar? Do you think that's cool? Have you ever heard? I, I would love to know. Have you ever seen anything that relates to Casablanca in pop culture? I think that the Looney Tunes made fun of this or had this happen a lot. Did you watch the new Space Jam Legacy? They go to Casablanca. LeBron and the Looney Tunes end up in Casablanca, and Yosemite Sam, his name's Sam, also get it? That's the joke. Is playing the piano at Rick's place. Um, uh, this is a you learn a lot about Ingrid Bergman and Humphrey Bogart in our lecture. Um, you know, tell me, tell me and Grant why you think this movie was typical of the studio system. They filmed this on a set. It's primarily sets, right? They're not actually going on location. So this was filmed at the studio on a set, and they're buying scripts and producing films over and over again. Do you like it? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? Um, Casablanca, it was a big success. It was a film that ended up um, telling a greater story, and that's really why I think it's considered one of the best films of all time. Is that the ultimately the story and the feelings that we get from these actors stick with you for a long time, and it really means something to the viewer. Like this is one, like we can watch films and we'll watch some films that, like, you might like better than this, but why, right? What's going to be the film that you sticks with you longer? And I would argue that this one, every single film that Grant and I show you, we think are valuable to your film literacy. And what's film literacy? Film literacy is your ability to use these films and express their meanings and their context to the United States, to American cinema. And so that when you watch a movie and you realize, oh, this is they're redoing, they're referencing Casablanca, or they're doing Casablanca. This is one of these linchpin films where you can find its influence on almost every single movie going forward, that there's some elements drawn from this or elements that are trying not to do this. It's one of those films that, like, heightened, film can be just an entertainment medium, but it's also an art form. And this is one of those films that I think is entertaining. It's one of my favorite films to watch, but it also shows us that film can be art and it can mean something. What did this film mean to you? Okay. Easy enough. I want you to check it out. Make sure to not just watch this lecture, but also to read the lecture notes as well. Grant and I are super interested in your thoughts. This one can be a little bit divisive, but for the most part, we find students like this film. But it's okay not to like a film. That's what's great about art. That's what's great about movies. Is it's as fun to talk about what you didn't like as what you liked. So never feel like, oh, I hated that film, but I don't want my film professors to know that. That's fine. We love finding out why you hate it, because then we can come in and be like, well, did you think about this, or did you notice this, or did you notice that? Okay. As always, if you have questions or comments, make sure you reach out to me or Grant, either in Canvas, or our emails, tallin@gavlin.edu or grichards@gavlin.edu. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. Okay. I hope you all enjoy this classic film. And until I see you next time, keep watching.